What is my opinion on inversion tables? Well, personally, I have owned two tables in the past. One that hangs from the ankles and one that actually hangs from the hips. And if you're going to purchase one, I would recommend to hang from the hips. Now, there's a couple reasons why. The first is I felt it as well as other patients. When you hang from the ankles, you're getting a traction and a distraction of the ankle itself, the knee, the hip, and you're doing all that before you actually feel the weight of the pull in the lower back. Now, this presents as no problems as long as you're young, healthy, and really have no problems with your ankles, knees, and hips. However, when people get older, they tend to have problems with those joints. So I've had patients that, yeah, it feels good on the back, but it really bothers their knee because you're basically hanging with the weight of your body, and the only thing that's holding your knee together is the ACL and the PCL and the other ligaments of the knee. So I really, as you get older, I really don't recommend to get an inversion table where you're hanging from your ankles. Now, they do have inversion tables where you're actually hanging from your hips. This has the advantage that you're actually getting traction of the lower back, so your upper body is tractioning against the hip without any harm to your ankles, knees, and hips themselves. Now, so what's my opinion about these inversion tables? I personally, in my professional opinion, do not think they're worth the money. So, since most people are not going to agree with this and they're going to buy their inversion tables anyway, I would recommend for you to get a used inversion table. You can find this everywhere. There is Craigslist, there's eBay, there's people that have these things in their garage that are simply just holding up laundry. Most people buy inversion tables and they just sit in their garage. They hardly ever use them after they realize that the promises that those inversion tables did doesn't pan out. So here's why I do not recommend inversion tables. The first is, if you have a herniated disc, most people really don't understand what a herniated disc is. A herniated disc is a tear. You have torn the outer covering of the disc, and now the jelly of the herniated disc is seeping through. So it makes really no sense to traction something that is torn. Just like if I tore the cloth on my shirt, it makes no sense to actually yank on either end of that cloth. It's just going to rip more. People are under the false impression that if you do an inversion table, somehow the jelly will be sucked in to the disc itself. This is what the animation is when you see the advertisement for the inversion table, and I can tell you it simply does not feel that way. The second type of person that thinks that an inversion table will help, but it really doesn't, is a degenerated disc. Some people don't understand what a degenerated disc is. A degenerated disc is a rotted disc. It's a rotten disc. It is literally like if you brushed your teeth and forgot to brush a tooth, that tooth would rot. So a degenerated disc is where the disc material is actually not healthy and not strong. Well, to hang your upper body weight and hang it off that damaged disc, most people find that it doesn't help in the long run. Now, who is this really for? If you feel tight, most of the time hanging upside down on an inversion table actually does feel really good. I personally have found that it really does feel good. The only problem is we don't live upside down. We live right side up. So the couple minutes that you spend upside down on an inversion table, by the time you actually stand up, you're not any taller. You do find that most of the things that you have to do to help your back, such as the McGill exercises that I have on my YouTube channel, all those core exercises, are really what helps in the long run. So I hope that gives you good information of whether to invest in an inversion table. Like I said in the beginning, if you're going to do it, it probably makes more sense to hang from your hips than it does from your ankles. And also, don't buy into all these promises. These are advertisements on the internet that can say anything and do anything and advertise anything they want. But what you find is most people, after a period of time, their inversion table just sits in the garage, doesn't do much help. So hopefully this was informative to you. If you like my videos, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and Hopefully these videos will be beneficial. You could share them if you like. Thanks very much.